How is it going, everyone? It's K Lumity here, and today we are going to be talking about a kind of horror game. I mean, it's horror themed, right? It's supposed to be kind of spooky themed, right? It's got some horror elements going for it. This game is called Score the Fear, and I thought that this was going to be kind of like a cute little ghost game where you're just like hanging out with an adorable little ghost, and he's like just playful and trying to scare you. And while that is there, it ended up being way more emotional than I expected it to be. The storytelling ended up being absolutely amazing, which really surprised me because it's very vague about its story, but as you kind of get more connected to the characters and you kind of unravel more and more of the stories as you do more of the playthroughs, stuff really starts to fall into place and they connect this beautiful puzzle, and it is amazing. And I really love this story in this game, and I love the way that they did it. And I'm not gonna lie, at the end of this game, I was tearing up. It is a really good ending, and it's a really powerful story, honestly. And you wouldn't expect it from a game that looks like this. I really just thought this was going to be a silly game where you're hanging out with a cute ghost. And boy, did it trick me. So, Score the Fear is a game where you are playing as a guy who goes to this apartment, and he is basically living in this apartment for just a few days. And what he doesn't realize is that when he gets there, the apartment is haunted. It is haunted by an adorable ghost who wants to become a scary ghost. And it is up to you to help him become a scary ghost. And the way that you do this is you basically play a game of hide and seek with the ghost in your apartment. You find him in a bunch of different areas. You're opening drawers. You're opening the refrigerator, seeing if he's hiding in there. You're opening up the toilet lid to see if he's hiding in the toilet. Just stuff like that. And you're just playing hide and seek with a little cute ghost. And that's all you are doing at first. It starts ramping it up because you get to rank his scares at the end of the day. So you get to give him, however you feel like he did in terms of his scares, you get to rank him on it. And depending on how you rank him, you get different outcomes for the story, and you need to get all of these different outcomes to get the real true ending. And man, that true ending is powerful. And I will say the nice thing about it is, even though you do have to replay a lot of the same sequences over and over again to get the true ending, at least they do have a skip button where you can skip the long cutscenes. I think that's pretty important to do, and they did that, so that's good. I'm glad that they had that in there at least. Because you are just basically doing the same thing over and over and over again once you, do the first few hide and seeks, right? Once you do hide and seek day 1, 2, and 3, you kind of know what to expect. So at least they do have a skip function for some of those longer cutscenes. Especially on the first day. The first day has the longest one and just lets you skip right past it. But the actual gameplay, like I said, you're just playing hide and seek with this cute ghost, and then depending on how you rate them, you can get 3 different types of finale days, right? So day 1 and 2 are the same pretty much no matter what you do. Day 3 is when things can drastically change. And I mean, it can go from you can have a playful ghost, depending on how you rated all of his scares. You can have a horrific ghost, depending on how you rated all of his scares, and then you can have the most emotional storyline, also depending on how you rated everything. And the storyline that it has is insanely well done. I did not expect it coming. It's a complete plot twist, but it all made sense in the end. The name that the ghost is calling you throughout the entire thing. I don't want to spoil too much because it'd be very easy to spoil this game, but everything just falls into place so well, and it ends up having one of the most beautiful stories I think I've ever seen from an indie game ever. So that was really amazing. The game's graphics, they're not great, but it doesn't need to be. This isn't an expensive game. This is like a $4 video game. It doesn't need to look fantastic. All that matters is that it gets its cuteness across, right? The ghost it tricks you in with its cuteness, and then it actually delivers a super powerful story, and it did a fantastic job with that. And I can't tell you what the story is too much other than what I've already told you, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But this is a game where if you are an indie game fan and you are someone that really likes a good narrative and a good story that can kind of be bittersweet, I think you're going to like this game. This is a fantastic game. It's very heartwarming. It's heartbreaking, too, at the same time. And I don't know how you couldn't end up having some tears at the end of this game. I really don't. This is a wonderful game. And even though it's short, like I got every single achievement in this game in about an hour, it's worth playing. It honestly is. This is so far, honestly, this might be my favorite game that I've played for Halloween this year. I really, really enjoyed this game, and I didn't expect it to be like this type of enjoyment. You know, I expected it to just kind of be silly. I did not expect it to just punch me in the gut with an actual story, and it did a fantastic job of doing that. But yeah, I love this. I absolutely love this game. I love everything about it. You know, the graphics, while they may not be perfect, I don't really care. The gameplay, it maybe not like super in depth. You know, you're just playing hide and seek with a ghost or whatever. But the stuff that the ghost does is incredibly adorable. The actual like there's so much character with this ghost, and there's so much like, you know, emotions and stuff that the ghost has. They just do a really good job of getting you attached to this character, and also the character who's helping the ghost as well. They get you so attached to these characters, and they just do a great job of making you care for them. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. This is a fantastic game, and honestly, I think if you are an indie game fan, this is probably a must play. You need to try this out. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. You have a wonderful day. You all have a fantastic day, and hopefully the next horror game I talk about doesn't make me cry. Because I listen, there's a place for games like this, right? It's good to have games like this that actually, you know, give you some tears and that are just tear jerkers and stuff like that. But, you know, I like games to also be a little bit more lighthearted. So I'm ready for just a game that's, you know, not as emotional. But thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.